of snow. Here's a great back to Briere. Fire! Score!
What's up, Flyers fans, and welcome back to episode 5 of Broad Street Broadcast. I'm Travis Ballinghoff here with my boy Kevin Beatty. Kevin, what's going on?
Oh, living the dream, living the dream. How about you, big guy?
Not too much. You have a good Easter?
It was pretty quiet. So not too shabby. How about you?
Yeah, stayed home, just chilled with my parents. Nothing crazy. Ate dinner, watched the Flyers loss.
Which one?
Right, there's been 5 in a row, eh? I guess you want to jump into this bombshell that came out this morning?
Regrettably, yeah, but oh my god, that's
terrible. So I would assume everybody has heard, but for anyone who hasn't, Jimmy McCrossin and Sal Raffa are suing Comcast and some other people, some others involved. Both were diagnosed with cancer and blood disease over the summer, and it sounds terminal. Well, it is terminal. I shouldn't say that. This came out from an article released by Crossing Broad this morning. Some others have wrote about it since. But what were your initial thoughts?
my initial thought was this, I guess this can't be real, can it? You look and you see. I saw people tweeting about it, and I was like, oh, dude, what's going on? And I was trying to figure it out, and I'm like, holy shit, you guys really just kind of kicked Jimmy and Sal, what the hell? Why would you? And then, oh, dude, I don't know, and then just kind of, I got angry all over again at Comcast being, the heartless organization that they are, and it's how can you treat these guys like this? Jimmy's been here for God knows how long, it's I don't know. I was like, holy shit, Jesus. What about you?
I didn't like how quickly they came out to deny it, but at the same time, they were diagnosed in the summer, so maybe they knew. I don't think this all happened overnight.
Oh no, for sure. No, this is definitely, I feel like just because of, their history with the team, they did try and handle it privately, and that would be my guess. But you never know at this point.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
It sounds like so what they're claiming is that the fuel, there's some fuel and gas and chemicals coming from the Zamboni, and their office is right next to where the Zamboni sits, and I guess the venting isn't properly aligned, along with being right next to the office, and
Yeah.
these chemicals and gases gave them cancer. That's what their claim is. And then the Flyers responded and said there's no merit to their claim, which I guess they have to do legally, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It sucks. It's terrible.
I can't even imagine, dude, how can you? I don't know. I was just kind of at a loss for words. How can you kind of sit there and how can it not be related? I'm sure that they can probably do tests on stuff like that. Literally, if it is the vents, take a look at the blueprints of everything and see how everything lines up, because that is that's negligible. It's negligence, and you guys are just sitting there trying to pass it there's no merit to these claims, and these are guys they wouldn't just kind of come out of nowhere, and they've been working with this team forever, and they're not just going to come out and start suing you guys for no reason. They're a part of this organization. They have been for a long time. It's not just so and then just everything on top of it coming out about Comcast, it doesn't help in their case at all.
Right. Well, I guess we started off the hop here saying that the Flyers lost 5-game losing streak. They lost. Yes. They got swept by the Sabres.
Yes.
I think the Sabres are honestly passing us in their rebuild. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have had about 15 years head start, so
That is
in
true.
their
That is
defense.
true. The curse of Vileleno.
Yeah.
But as it sits right now, we have the fourth best odds for that number 1 overall pick. So I mean, I guess it's not all bad.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm really pulling for. I haven't checked the scores for tonight. How Seattle wouldn't play yet, or they will have just started. Seattle's playing Ottawa tonight, and if Seattle wins, they'll be within 1 point of us, and they have a game in hand. So I'm like really pulling.
Nice.
I'm really pulling for a top 3 pick. I don't. We're not catching. We're not stooping as low as Montreal, or Arizona at this point. So I'm pulling to fall behind Seattle, and then picking the top 3, or maybe because what is it? You can't hop more than 2 spots, in the draft lottery. I think.
No, you can.
I thought I heard that
You can't. Only 3 teams can jump, so you can't fall more than that because we went from 12 to 2 the 1 year.
Okay, I thought it was you couldn't hop more than 2.
If you let's say we have the first pick going into the draft, we can't fall farther than 4th.
Okay. All right. You know what? Yeah,
But you
whatever.
can jump as much as you want.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to jump all the way. So, but yeah, no, I'm all for it. I think because I was watching the game with my family on Easter, and I mean, I kind of watch usually by myself because my family's not that big into hockey.
Okay.
But obviously with it being Easter, it's a family day, so I was watching it. I think obviously they knew I was pulling for us to
Lose.
to lose, but I don't think they realized just how much, because they're during that when we pulled the goalie, I was actively rooting for them to stop, miss. I was actively rooting for Buffalo to just sink it with an empty netter. So so it was kind of funny, Jesus, this kid is really pulling against us. What happened?
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm really pulling for fall as low as you can. I'm
Yeah,
a
I mean
huge,
that's really one of the very few things we have to root for at this point,
literally,
really.
why wouldn't we? So yeah, I'm really praying for I'm really rooting for Seattle. I'm a big Seattle fan. Oh wait, no, they're up 1-0. Oh, I love to see it. They're up
Wow.
1-0 against Ottawa. Love to see it. So
There we go.
yeah.
Shout out Dave Hakstol.
Yeah, go Dave. Go
Helping
Dave.
us out here.
Finally doing something good for the city. But yeah, man, I'm a big Seattle fan right now.
There we go. I don't think it's really we don't really need to dive into them games because it's pretty much been the same story for months. They're bad
Yeah,
even strength, they're bad on the power play, they're bad on the penalty kill, they're bad in overtime, they're bad in the
they're just
shootout.
bad. They're just bad.
It's the same thing every night, and
there's no stipulation. They're just bad.
yeah. One thing I do want to jump into is a lot of these young kids who are playing. Bobby Brink has made his NHL debut since we last talked. What are your initial thoughts on Bobby Brink's game?
I think the kid's a stud. That's really kind of been my only saving grace with the last couple games. You get this kind of breath of fresh air. I think Brink is great. I think he's got great speed, great instincts. I really like. Cates has been my breakout star so far, but I really like what Brink has brought. I do feel for the kid. Literally came from a national championship to this dumpster fire. So
I thought the same thing.
literally could not have fallen farther.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been really satisfied with him. I'm excited to see what a summer of NHL training kind of brings.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's set up pretty good for next season in terms of the lineup. Obviously, we got to find out where everybody fits. Some moves probably have to be made, but I'm very optimistic as to what he's going to bring.
Yeah, I've liked a lot of what I've seen from him. Seems like he's just a very good pure passer.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of shots on the power play, which is nice to see. We haven't
does.
had that in a while.
He does. I really like those he can really kind of put it across ice
The
in a
seam
way that
passes, yeah.
that really nobody except G could really do, at least this season.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I'm really excited about that. Really optimistic. Um, which is great. Well, it's amazing after this season. I can be optimistic for anything.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, I really like him.
How
I think
about
he's been,
Noah Cates? You said he's your breakout guy so
oh my
far.
god, he's been so good. And anyone that doesn't think so is like lying to themselves, or they're just blinded by the hatred for this team. Like I don't understand like how you can't like at the very least watch him, be like, damn, like this kid's not fun to watch. Like
Right.
he like he's the only one, like he's bringing consistent offense. Like what is it? He's a 2 game or 3 game goal streak right now. Um, like he's playing great. Like I can't even like. There's nothing else. Like kid's playing great.
Yeah, I've
Like
been very surprised with. I'll be honest, I am very surprised how well he's done so far. I don't know how high his ceiling is, but like every
that's the
50-50 battle, he wins, and it's like,
yeah. That's
wow, we
the
don't have many guys like that.
I'm with you on the. I don't know what his ceiling is, but I'm very optimistic. I've like really, I've been high on him for a couple years. I kind of, I'd been seeing his name floating around the organization. I'm like, who is this kid? And I
Mhm.
did some research. He was a captain. I think I think he brings a lot. Um, I'm thinking like maybe a top sixer might be his ceiling, not necessarily like a good second liner. I feel like,
Okay.
um, but obviously, it's a lost season right now, so who knows? Um, and there was always, we all thought Jordan Wheel was going to be something after that, that the end of that one season, and then
Yep.
wow, like he really wasn't. So, um,
I was one
it's
of those guys. I have a Jordan Wheel jersey.
do you really? Oh wow, you really bit in. Holy
Well,
crap!
well, actually, I got it after he left for $25,
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. I thought you were
but I
like, oh
was
yeah,
a
no.
I was a huge Jordan Wheel fan. I thought he was going to be like 50, 60 point guy for years to come. I
Wow,
really thought he was going to be good.
that's bold.
I was
That's
way off
bold.
on that one.
It's all right. You know what? We all make mistakes.
How about Ronnie Attard? Have you been as impressed with him as the others?
No, and I'm not gonna necessarily blame the guy. I mean, he's I think he's been kind of shortchanged here. I think he would be good. He could be tolerable in like a third pairing role. But I feel like he's been, just because of injuries and everything, I feel like he's been having to play up in the lineup, and he's really been getting burned. Um, I'm not looking for much out of him, like in terms of ceiling. But if he comes around and ends up being like a number 5, I'd be okay with that. Kind of like a Justin Braun type, but with a better shot. I feel like,
Okay.
you kind of stick him on your third pair. You know what you got, and he can kind of eat up some minutes. Just right now, he's just having a rough go. And
Yeah, he was probably the one I was most excited to see just because I knew such little about him and because we don't have very many right shot defensemen at all in the system. So I was excited to see him,
yeah,
but I've been so disappointed. I mean,
and
he's
I like
been bad to like put it
he,
nicely.
yeah,
And you
he
know what?
has
He's a
been,
college kid. He just came out of college. He was a former third round pick. So like we shouldn't
yeah,
expect a ton from him.
yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where I'm at. And it's obviously the team has a lot to do with it. I feel like he's not. We're not playing a good defensive core right now, like at all. Like we had like Provy and Risto and Sanheim, and that's pretty much it. And Risto's even stretching it as an NHL defenseman.
Yeah.
Like, um, I think if you still had York, then you could kind of shelter him a little bit more. Connaughton is just not an NHL defenseman. Um, my God, he was playing with Provorov last night, and I'm like, oh my God, like dude, like why are you even out there like with him? Like the one goal, I forget which one it was. He was literally like he skated in front of Hart and like squatted down, like trying to block. Like, dude, like
Yeah.
just let him see the puck. Like,
Playing like his buddy Nick
or
Seeler.
sorry, not Hart, Jones
Yep.
or
Sandstrom.
whoever it was. Stanstrom, that's right.
Well,
I
speaking
don't
of
know.
Felix, what have you seen from him? We've seen him pitch, not pitch. Sorry, I'm got the Phillies game on.
We're just not having a good night.
No, not at all. We've seen Felix play 2 games here. Any thoughts on him?
I mean, he's been kind of like I said. I feel like I thought he was really good in the third period of last night's game. Obviously, there's no defense right now. Like the team's playing terrible. No one's really kind of. I've been fine with him. I haven't been. I was pretty high on him coming out of his draft year. And then his play over in Sweden, I was pretty high on. And then he came over here and he really struggled. And then he was playing with the Royals for a little bit. So I'm just kind of like, he's not my. I feel like now that you kind of have a feel for what he is, and now that the rest of the league kind of has a feel for what he is, I think you start to look to move him just because I think you have better goaltending prospects. Like I probably prefer Ustamenko right now to him in terms of like what's available currently.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like Samuel Urson is way better. I think Ivan Fedotov is way better as well. But obviously, I have to see them over on NHL ice first. Both of them.
I'm very intrigued by Fedotov.
I think Urson's going to be something. I'm really high on him. But Sandstrom, I'm just kind of like,
It's hard to give analysis with how bad the defense has been.
Exactly, and I'm not
going to goaltending, but it's like I'm glad they're finally giving him some starts. I wish he would have been the backup for a couple of months now, even if he's not good. It's just I want to see these kids play.
Honestly, he should have because you knew you weren't bringing Jones back. You should have dealt him at the deadline, regardless of what you got back. Get something for him, and then you should have had Sandstrom just kind of like split time with Hart for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You kind of touched on it. He was like really highly touted in his draft year.
Yeah,
and then he came over here, and it's like he's been okay in the coast, but like him in the AHL has not worked.
No, and I don't know. Like, I don't think
his raw stats are terrible, but Yo said the other day like his analytics are pretty good, and I'm like,
I don't know. I haven't. I personally haven't looked at his analytics. I mean,
I don't even know where you would find AHL analytics. I'll be honest.
Me neither.
I don't know if that's like public knowledge or
it probably. I mean, honestly, and like I don't know how good their analytics staff is. Like honestly, because if they're sitting there telling us that Risto's a good defenseman, so you know what? I'm like, hey, like, so you need to get rid of your analytics staff. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just kind of. I don't know. Like it's hard to say. Like you said, like the team is just bad right now, and you can't pin that all on him. And I don't think the smaller ice would affect the goalie that much, to be perfectly honest. Like maybe like in terms of like bounces off the boards and stuff like that, and playing it around the back of the net. Like maybe I guess, but like it shouldn't matter to him that much. I don't.
Yeah, I never really thought about that as a goalie.
Yeah, so like. That's the only. So it shouldn't really be any different. Like and he played in the SHL, which is, in my opinion, a better version of the AHL. Like I think to me, it's like probably like NHL, KHL, SHL, and then AHL. In my opinion, like I agree
with that.
Maybe you might be able to flip flop KHL and SHL. I don't know. I know that Swedish do pretty good, but I don't know. I for the life of me, I can't imagine. I can't figure out like what the change is for him because I feel like SHL is definitely a better league than the AHL, for sure.
Maybe he's just not good.
That is a very valid. Or honestly, I think the team that he was playing for, I think it was Oscar's team. I think they were like winning championships and stuff. So that just might have been the team playing well. And
maybe they had a good defensive system in front of them, and
that very well might have been. I'm not up to date on my SHL, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I know everything. But Yeah, man, I can't for the life. I'm pretty sure they won a championship while Oscar was over there, and I think Oscar was like,
I think he was MVP of the league.
I think he was MVP of the league,
I think he
and
was like fourth in goals or something.
yeah.
I do
So
remember that.
I don't know, man. I for the life of me, I can't figure out what went wrong. If there was anything wrong to begin with. I got nothing.
Yeah, I guess
It's,
that's why they say like draft a lot of goalies, just because how often they do or don't hit.
yeah, and you know what? I think they've done pretty well so far of kind of giving them a little bit more options. Hexy could not draft a goalie, so that's another thing. He drafted Hart, but like after that, who do they have? Like, in my opinion, like they
Yeah,
never.
Merrick Madsen didn't work. Sandstrom hasn't really worked. Ustamenko hasn't worked.
No, Matej Tomek or whatever the
Oh
hell his
yeah,
name
Matej
was.
Tomek.
Yeah, that
Do we
guy.
still have him?
No, I don't think so. He's got to be gone. It's been a while since we had
Yeah, I
him.
forgot about him.
And he was like a 3rd round pick too. I think. Like,
Who drafted Urson? Was that Chalk?
That might have been Chuck.
Okay.
I don't remember. When did Samuel Urson get drafted? But yeah, man, I don't know. Like to me, it's hard to say because I think a better tell like if he's our backup next season, which honestly like, and they're not going to. But if they were to say like, hey, let's scrap this aggressive retool idea, which like I said, they really should. He was drafted in 2018, so that was Hexy still, I think.
Yeah.
That was Hexy still.
Yep.
But yeah, man, they should, if they were to scrap the aggressive retool, and then just kind of say like, all right, Sandstrom, you're going to be our backup, and then we're just going to lose a bunch of games. I'd be fine with that, but they're not
I would
going
be
to.
definitely okay with that.
They need to try this aggressive retool, which didn't work the first time. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work again.
Definition of insanity. So
unless you're aggressively retooling the entire roster, coaching staff, front office, and
yeah,
ownership.
exactly. Yep.
Like how aggressive are we talking here?
Ownership is the key, I think, at that point.
Yeah. Earlier you talked about a couple of the injuries: York, Ristolainen, Sealer, Carter Hart, Cam Atkinson. We had injury problems at the beginning of the year, and it seems like it spiked up again out of nowhere.
Holy shit, did it spike up? I know I sent you the tweet. Gianna Han tweeted it the other day. The Flyers opening night roster versus the roster from the other night. It was like so like wow.
I think there were only 6 guys left, right?
Joel
the opening night
Farabee,
roster.
TK, Lawton, JVR, Lindblom, Provorov, Sanheim, and Yandel. So 8 players from the original team. Those are the only ones that were still standing. And
sounds like a mid-season aggressive retool.
Yeah, honestly.
It's insane.
Cam Atkinson injured. Nicholas Aube-Kubel gone. Derek Brassard gone. Justin Braun gone. Sean Couturier, Ryan Ellis both injured. Claude Giroux's gone. Nick Sealer's gone. I don't know where the hell he at.
Injured.
Is he injured?
The night he replaced Yandel, season-ending injury.
Cool. Didn't make a difference.
Totally worth it.
Nate Thompson injured. Max Woolman in the AHL, I believe. And then Carter Hart injured.
What a team.
Sickening. And then Hayes, Cates, Tippett. Like, honestly, like, you look at all these names, like, holy crap. Like, you guys, like, really just started picking people off the street, didn't you? I swear to God, Kevin Connaughton.
Patrick Brown, Connaughton, McEwen.
Kevin Connaughton was a fan in the stands before he started playing on this team. I swear to God. He is so bad.
He scored 11 goals one year under Rick Tocchet. Funny stat for you.
For what team?
The Coyotes.
All right. Well, someone had to score the goals on that team. I'm not counting that. They're going to start playing at a college arena. That's not a real NHL team.
No, you're right. Rick Tocchet held that team above water for years. They had no talent, and they were somehow always right there. They never were able to do anything. But
Do you think Rick Tocchet is the coach next season? No.
I wish, but it's not happening.
Damn.
Keep hearing Jim Montgomery.
I'd be okay with Montgomery. I feel like that's kind of realistic, but I don't think he gets the job done.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that I'd actually be okay with, which wasn't how I felt the last time around when we hired AV. I was like, man, there's not many coaches I like. There's some guys out there. Like if we signed Claude Julien, I really wouldn't hate that either.
No, I mean, yeah,
Montgomery, I wouldn't hate.
So I like Claude Julien, but I feel like he would be wasted here. Just like there is no coach out there right now that is going to fix this team.
Right.
The team it's got to come from within, and they also need to figure out the issues like internally as well before any kind of substantial change can be made. Like they need to fix the medical staff, they need to fix the ownership, they need to fix the coaching staff. Like there's just so many there's so many things that need to be done before we can make any kind of progress. The development staff is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, you gotta make a lot of internal changes before any like significant improvements can be made, in my opinion.
No, I completely agree. It's like it's not just a handful of players are the problem. It's literally top down, A to Z. It's everything in this organization is fucked up.
The Zamboni drivers are doing a good job. I'll give that to them. They're doing a damn good job. Good job,
see Marshawn Lynch this morning doing donuts with a Zamboni?
I did see. I literally right before we started recording, I saw that. I'm like, that man is just
that was impressive.
That he is living his best life, and I'm here for it.
Right. He's like a minority owner of the Kraken now.
Good for him. My guy's just having like I said, he's just having the time of his life.
I could see him going into the boardroom and being like, "Yo, Hack, like, dude, you got to go. You're not cutting it, brother."
I just here so like he's I'm just here so I get like he just kind of I mean he doesn't cause issues. Like he's just kind of he seems to be like a genuinely good human being, and I love it.
And he likes Skittles, so I'm cool with that.
He
best
does
candy out there.
All right, calm down. Reese's are better. Reese's are way better. Don't me. Reese's are.
I'm a Skittles guy.
I have a grudge against Skittles since they changed the green Skittle.
That was M&M's. They got rid of the M&M girl with the white boots.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking. They changed the flavor of the green Skittle from lime to green apple. Lime was my favorite Skittle.
Wow, when the hell was that?
Yeah, love the lime Skittle.
That's kind of wild. All right, let's get back on the rails here. So I guess we got about a week and a half before the regular season's over. So I thought we'd have a little bit of fun here and talk about some guys who could win some awards. I guess we'll start off with the Hart Trophy. Who is your Hart Trophy favorite at the moment?
So, I mean, the obvious pick is McDavid. But I'm going to kind of go off. I don't want to say off the board, but I just feel like Austin Matthews, I think, is going to. Is it McDavid is always the pick, but like that's kind of the boring pick. So I'm gonna go for Austin Matthews. He's killing it this year, especially with goals. He's got 58 currently, with 102 points. I say like it's very rare that you see any player put up that kind of goal numbers anymore. Like I think it's been a while since anybody's hit 60.
Yeah, Stammer in 2012.
That was the only one I didn't think Ovi hit it after that. But he's 2 away. I don't know how many games he has left. I think he's played every single game so far this year. So that would be he's got 12 games left.
No, Matthews has missed a ton of time.
Has he? He's already played 70 games.
He missed last night's game. He had a shoulder injury at the beginning of the year.
Okay, yeah. So he's behind then. But still, I mean, two goals is doable, especially with how many games are left. And is like so if he can come back healthy, I definitely think he can hit 60.
Yeah, kind of boring on my part, but that's my pick as well. I think that Matthews only being 8 points behind McDavid, and he's got 58 goals compared to
Yeah,
McDavid's 42. Played 6 less games than McDavid. I think I think Matthews is the pick, and he's an elite
yeah.
two-way forward as
And
well.
that's
Very good
that.
defensively in his own zone.
It kind of like for me, it depends on like whether or not they're gonna want to do like a repeat thing, like because it's not gonna be McDavid's last one. I mean, obviously, like Matthews has plenty of chances to get another one, but I feel like they're gonna try and get some variety in the voting. Um, it's just one of those things, like it's with every sport, with MVP or like the Oscars or whatever. Um, it's considered like, oh, their time. Like I think that's why Coots won the other a couple years ago for the Selkie. I think that was why. Um, but yeah, man, I
Yeah,
Matthews.
Coots should have won the Selkie 2 years before he actually did.
Oh, for sure. But
And
then
then they're
again,
like, all right, we
it's
fucked
his
up. He
time.
deserved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you're right on that. But yeah, I guess we're in agreement for the heart. I think Matthews is most
Yeah.
deserving. What about the Selkie?
So this one is kind of hard for me to determine because like I don't because I don't watch a lot. My knee jerk is Barkov.
Hmm.
I think he's having an outstanding year. I think he plays a great two-way game, and especially with the success that the Panthers are having, um, that's definitely a good feather in his cap. Honestly, if it was an actual like, because basically at this point it's the best two-way center. That's basically what the award is, not best defensive
Defensive
forward.
center.
Yeah.
Forward, yeah, sorry.
So, um, if it was best defensive forward, then I would go Huberdeau because I think
Hmm.
Huberdeau plays a fantastic two-way game. Um, but because
Did you
of
see
that,
Jay Fresh Hockey say that the Panthers would be better without Huberto?
I did not see that. But that is idiotic. Holy crap! I have the stats up in front of me. He's literally second in points right now. Wow. God.
He's
Okay.
over what's he at? 108?
He's at 108. He's at 108 in how many games? In 75 games. He's at 108. Literally only second to McDavid. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, yeah, definitely.
that's
He
one of the
they
worst hockey takes I've ever
Panthers should
seen.
be better without him. Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
According to that
God.
guy's model, Mike Richards was also a bad penalty killer.
Dude,
Mike Richards is probably the best penalty killer I've ever seen in my life.
what model? uh,
um, for my Selkie, I'm definitely going Bergeron. I think if they ever decide to rename the award, I think it would
oh
become
yeah, for
the
sure. But
Bergeron Award.
it, I mean, I feel like he's had a pretty quietly good year. Um, but I also like kind of going back to what we were talking about a little bit with the heart. That's like the favorite pick. Like the most that's the easiest pick. I feel like just because he's won it so many times. And so that's kind of why I went with Barkov. I know Barkov plays a good two-way game. I know that the Panthers are having an outstanding season, and I know that plays a big part of it too. Because you're not going to give the award to someone on a bad team. And
Right.
I know you and I have talked at length about the Bruins, but I acknowledge that they're at least a good team. But the Panthers are on a whole nother level right now, so I feel like that's why they're going to give the edge to Barkov.
I'm going Bergeron. I got a couple stats up here. He leads the league in expected goals percentage. He leads the league in total shot attempts percentage. He leads the league in shot on goal percentage. And he leads the league in unblocked shot attempts percentage. So I
Like I
personally
said,
think he should run away with it.
okay, I respect that. I do. Like I said,
What's your
I agree. I do agree. Like the guy's won. I don't even know how many. Like 4 or 5. I think he's won
a
4 or
lot.
5 of them. Yeah, man. Like he pretty much owns that award at this point. But I feel like I'm if they decided to give it to a different player, then I feel like Barkov would be. If they were trying to spread the love, I feel like Barkov would be a good pick.
What do you got for the Norse?
So the Norse is another one where I'm kind of. I love Adam Fox. I think he's a fan. He's a phenomenal defenseman. But I don't know. Like it's hard for me to kind of say because he won it last year, and I don't want like I don't know if they'd give him a back to back. But I also like off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody else that would kind of be my pick without like I mean like obviously there's always the God, I'm stupid. What the hell's the defenseman from Tampa? You're gonna
Hedman.
say what?
Hedman? Victor Hedman?
Hedman. I thought you said Edmund. I was like, what? Yeah, no, Hedman is always like. Honestly, no, they probably just give it to McCarr. McCarr's having a fantastic season too. Yeah, I'd probably say McCarr.
I want Makar, and I think it's going to be very close. I think I'm going to go not Hedman. I think I'm going to go Yossi though. He might end
Yossi's
up getting
he's
100 points. I mean, when's the last time
he's
we've seen a defenseman get
yeah,
100 points?
that's true.
The
Nah, for
thing that
sure.
I think hurts Yossi is that he doesn't play against other teams' top lines. I think that could hurt him.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like McCarr and Yossi are going to be 1 and 2, and I don't
I
think
do
it's going to be.
too.
I don't think it's going to be particularly close either. I don't think it's going to be particularly close other than that.
Yeah. Like you said, Fox is probably in there. Hedman's had a bounce back season. He's right up there with the best.
So I would probably do. Yeah, I'd probably put like Fox at 2, and then no Fox at 3, McCarr at 2, and Yossi at 1. I think you're right.
I hope
Yossi's
I'm
having an
wrong.
incredible
I really
season.
like Kale McCarr. I want him
So
in
oh
tonight,
yeah,
but
it should have been a flyer. Should have been a flyer.
yeah, well,
Uh,
that's what happens when you don't listen to your scouting staff, I guess.
yeah.
What about the Vesna? Is this Igor's to lose?
I mean, I want to say yes, but I also feel like he doesn't have the wins to back it up.
Hmm.
I don't know, like not to say like he's had a bad season, but like and obviously like it's not the Jennings, it's the I mean I really want it to be Igor. I really love Igor. Um, but I'm looking at the stats right now, and man, like I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling. I hope it is Igor. I really do. But I feel
Okay.
like this one I just feel like the Vesna is going to be the one that they mess up.
Huh.
I don't
Who
know.
are you thinking?
Maybe like Kemper or Bob maybe. Um 'Cause like I said like and again, not that the Rangers have done bad, but I just feel like the Panthers and Colorado are like the powerhouses. So
Hmm.
I feel like they're going to give it to one of them.
That's
Like I said,
interesting.
I'm looking. I just think I feel like they mess one up every year, and I feel like it's going to be the Vesna this year. I hope it's Igor. I really
Right.
do. I really like Igor. He was my fantasy goalie this year. He stole me some games, but
I think. Oh my God, fantasy. Finally got my revenge on Jason's dad after a couple of years. Thank the Lord.
yeah,
Now I'm going
man.
against the Sod father, round 2.
Yeah, my boy Josh. My boy,
Right.
shout out Josh. Um,
I'm thinking Igor runs away with it just because his goal saved above
oh,
expected
dude,
is like by
he's
far and away the best in the league.
believe me, I love Igor, but I feel like they mess one up every year, and I have a bad feeling about the Vesna.
Hmm. I
Like I would,
guess I would have said Freddie Anderson was second, and he still
I
might be, but he's hurt now and he might be done for a
that
couple
was that
weeks.
that was my thought process as well. I was going through, I was looking at the stats, and my knee jerk was thinking Freddie, but I was like, maybe not, and then Yeah, man. I just Kemper or Bob. I feel like would be the some say like because those two are just the powerhouses. Rangers. I don't know, man. Like I said, I hope it's Igor because I really like Igor as a coach, but I just feel like they're gonna mess it up.
Last but not least here, rookie of the year, the Calder. Who you got?
So I think Bunting is the favorite just because
He
he's
leads in
got the most.
points.
He leads in points, but I think Trevor Zegras is just the most fun right now. So I really like that. Like that's who I want to win.
Okay.
But I feel like it's to me, unless um like a goalie has like just an outstanding year, I feel like it just goes to the rookie with the most points,
Hmm.
in my opinion. And I feel like unless, and I mean it's tough.
I'm wondering if Bunting's age hurts him. I
See,
listen to like a lot of different
I said
broadcasts and podcasts, and
I said the same thing about Artemi Panarin, and then my guy
that's what I
Bigos.
was getting to.
Yeah, so
I
I'm
hear
not.
all these people say Bunting can't win because he's too old, and then like why
Yeah,
couldn't that narrative be around
yeah,
when Panarin
literally.
beat out Ghost?
Where were you assholes a couple years ago when we needed you?
Yep.
Um, but yeah, man,
I'm thinking it
so
goes to Mo Sider. That's my pick.
I said, but I like that pick. I just unless like they just have a stupidly good season, I feel like it always goes to a forward, and it always goes to the forward with most points.
Hmm.
I like it's to me that's just what I always say. And unless Zegras has a couple of big games, he is. Let's see. He's 6 points behind Bunting right now. Zegras is.
Hmm.
I just like he's just so creative. I think he's just so fun. I
Definitely the more highlight worthy guy,
yeah,
right?
and that's what I'm saying. I feel like he would be the most fun, but I feel like it's just gonna go to Bunting. As
Hmm.
much as I don't want it, and honestly, like Raymond's a good shout too, but
Yeah.
I think I think the top three will be. I think it'll be Mo, Trevor, and Bunting. I feel like it'll be the top three,
Okay.
and probably go to Bunting.
I don't think he has any chance of winning, but I like that Jeannot kid in Nashville.
Yeah,
He
he's
started
good.
off slow, but like he's
He
got like
did.
40 points in his last 50 games, and he leads the league in fights. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's a throwback. I like that guy. A couple notes here before we finish off. Former Flyer Ryan Hartman giving Evander Kane the old flipperoo.
Yes, yes, yes. My guy. I was so I originally I just saw the flipping of the bird on Twitter. Like I didn't see who it was at. I didn't see the whole altercation before it. I'm like, dude, like why are you doing that in the middle of the game? And then I saw Evander Kane's wife donate to him, and I was like, oh god, that's who it was for. And then I changed my whole perspective. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I'd flip him off too. Like you go for it. You my
Yeah,
King Ryan Hartman, go for it, my guy.
that was pretty
Um
funny.
it was.
Not a big Evander Kane guy.
I hate Evander Kane. I think he's an embarrassment to the league. I think he's very talented, but he's just so my god, he's like a Kardashian. He gives so much drama.
Yeah,
I like he's just not worth having in the league. He's not worth having on a team. I was like really like praying to God that we would not be one of the teams that was in on him. He was not going to fix anything. He's
I
not
wanted
worth.
the Flyers to acquire him via trade a couple years ago, but now I'm kind of like the same sentiment as you. Like the dude's just a nutcase, and it's
Yeah,
like
he's a
it's too
cancer.
much baggage for his on ice
He's
play to be
he's
worth it.
he's a cancer to the locker room. It's just not worth the headache. And honestly, like if they went out and got somebody like that right now, I would think even less of this organization than I already do.
Right?
Like honestly, it's just not worth it. I don't care how cheap he is at this point. He's just not worth it. Like at any point. Um, I think it was an absolute rock star move by him to take all the money that was given to him to pay for the fine and donate it instead. I
Hartman,
like
yeah.
I just my guy. Like I was so happy when I saw that. I didn't even realize that anyone besides Kane's wife had giving him money.
Uh-huh.
And then it turns out like he was like, all right, yeah, no, like everybody, like if you want to keep giving, I'm done at this time, and then everything else, like everything is going to charity. Yeah, man, I'm so happy he did that. That was
The
so
Flyers could
cool.
use more guys like him.
Honestly, shoot, that's a guy that they should target. Like, oh my god, he's so good.
It's a shame we traded him away.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, man, I hate Evander Kane with a burning passion. I was so happy to see all that happened. Literally, there's not a part of that I don't like. I love the flipping of the bird. I love his ex-wife donating. I love him donating all the money. I love all of it. It's great.
And our buddy G in Florida, 16 points in 13 games with them.
As a stud, dude. I've
12,
been saying
12-1-0 since acquiring Claude Giroux. The Florida Panthers are.
I said it for months. I was like, yo, he's going to go off in Florida if he gets traded there. You can ask any of my friends. I was saying for months, I was like, yo, I want him to go to Florida. I think he would like just fit so well there. Oh my God. It's like just the vindication of him like just going off and them just being so successful. I'm just so happy for him. I really hope this is it.
I do too. The goaltending still scares me, but
I
will be rooting for him big time.
I think, dude, I'm telling you, let's see. Just an update on the Kraken game. Kraken are still winning 1-0, end of the first period.
There we go.
I'm pulling so hard for him. I think, dude, I'm telling you, I think this could be it. If it isn't, I might cry again. I think
Would he get the cup first after the captain?
Nah, I think it's got to go to Joe Thornton.
Gotta
go to Joe Thornton.
Good call.
Then maybe. But I don't know. See, I feel like it's different when it's a team that hasn't won. It's definitely going to Joe right after. It's definitely like 100% it's going to Joe. And then it can kind of just depend on like who's who. Like Joe could give it to one of his line mates and then somebody can give it to him. And I don't know, man. Like literally the only one I'm sure, like if Florida wins, God willing, the first person that gets it has to be Joe. It has to be Joe.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, any final thoughts here before we head out?
Everyone root hard for the Kraken. Really need to see that fan support right now.
We got any update on this Canucks game?
Canucks game. I can give you one. Give me 1 second.
Canucks Stars.
They are tied 1-1 at halfway through the first.
Okay.
Got money on that game?
No, I am going against Ottinger in fantasy, so I could use a Canucks win.
Gotcha. Yeah, man.
I guess technically I got some money on the game. A little bit.
Yeah, everyone root for the Kraken, root against the Flyers, and yeah. If we win, hold on, who we play next? We play tomorrow, don't we? Play tomorrow against the Leafs. Oh, that's a surefire loss. I hope.
I'm praying for an Austin Matthews hat trick.
Yeah.
Why stop at a board?
Why stop at a hat trick? Go for 10.
Right. The Ovech trick.
Yeah, literally. God, I forgot about that. Holy shit.
That was a lot. 10 years ago. That was a good commercial.
Time ago. Yeah, man. Seattle, if they win tonight, God, they are out shooting the Senators 11-3 right now.
There we go.
Yeah, man. Then they have a game in hand on us. They will be within 1 point. And that's another thing I did forget to mention earlier. I realized that I'm literally like everybody that's playing for the Flyers right now are people like trying to like make a case for them to stay up for next season. And I'm like, God, like that is like literally the worst position that we could be in right now because all these people are actually trying to win. Yeah. They're trying to play well. And none of them are just like, no, like let's just
even JVR's showing some skating legs out of nowhere for the first time all year.
Literally the most worthless game. He scores 2 goals, a 9-2 loss. You know what? I'm gonna score.
And Absolute
God.
clown.
This team. I hate this team so much. I really do.
I'd say that's a good place to end it right there. Kevin
Yeah,
hates
right
this
there.
team.
I
Blow it
hate
up.
this
Blow
team,
it
but
up.
honestly, blow it up. Oh my God.
All right. Well, if you're still watching, thank you very much. Like and subscribe on YouTube. If you're still listening, please rate us 5 stars. It'll help us out a ton. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
See you, everybody.